He was playing poker with Parliament. I understand that. When Boris Johnson first became Prime Minister, or just before he became Prime Minister, he promised that we was going to leave on the 31st of October. And even though in my heart I thought that just maybe he'd be able to pull it out of the hat, I guess in my mind I knew he didn't have the numbers in Parliament to do it. I also stupidly believed that somehow he had something under his hat in reference to trying to get around the Ben bill. Obviously he didn't. He was playing poker with Parliament. I understand that. I totally understand that. So I've got no bad thoughts towards Boris or how he's played the game, because that's what it is. He's played the game. Now, quite a few people, when Boris became Prime Minister, come away from the Brexit Party, went over to the Conservative Party because they thought that Boris is the kind of guy that we can trust to get what we voted for back in 2016. So the Brexit Party went from like 35 or 40 in the polls down to around, I think it was around 15 or 16, and the Conservative Party went from about 15, 16 up to around 35, 40, and Boris Johnson's polls were really up there and all that kind of stuff, and Jeremy Corbyn dropped like a stone. Now, as soon as he was unable to, and he made it quite clear that we were unable to leave on the 31st of October, of course his polling starts going down, the Conservative Party starts going down a bit, but he made sure that he was knocking on the door again and again and again for a general election. He knew that Jeremy Corbyn could not turn it down for like at least a fourth time now. I've personally never seen an opposition turn down a general election. I don't think it's actually happened in England before, in Britain, in the UK here before. It's the one thing that the opposition have to do, is that if a general election is called, they have to vote for it. So where we are today, we've got a general election on the 12th. And what I'm noticing is that the Brexit Party supporters and the Conservative Party supporters are fighting each other. And to me, that doesn't make any sense. You see, the fact is, whether you dislike Nigel Farage or whether you dislike Boris, whether you dislike the way that Nigel Farage is going about trying to win the general election or the way that Boris is doing it, whether you believe that we should be going on no deal or we should be going with a deal with Boris, that's neither here nor there. You see, the fact is that both Boris and Nigel are fighting our cause to leave the EU. So we should be backing each other's corner. Now, granted, the likes of Boris Johnson should be getting in touch with Nigel Farage and having some sort of pact so we can fight the general election together to ensure that if worse comes to the worst, there'll be a coalition with the Brexit Party and the Conservatives, and we can make sure we can definitely leave. Hopefully on a no deal, but if not, have a fantastic deal, because Parliament won't really have a say because we'd have the numbers of the 650. Within the 650. Now, the reason I'm doing this video is that I see so many people arguing with each other on the same team, and I keep trying to tweet out to these guys and explaining to Conservatives and the Brexit Party people, is stop arguing with each other. The people that you need to argue with are the Remoaners, the MPs that are now starting to leave the Parliament. I mean, the great thing about the general election that's called for the 12th is that so many MPs have decided to just walk away. They're not going to stand in their seats on the next general election. And the people not standing are Oliver Letwin, Justin Greening, Ken Clark, Nick Bowles, Amber Rudd, Rory Stewart, Vince Cable. These people will be gone. So we need to ensure that we fight the right fights and not fight each other. I don't understand why you'd have France and, say, England fight each other when they've got to fight Germany. You know, to me it doesn't make any sense. So I guess as a Brexiteer, all I'm saying to you guys is that please stop fighting each other. Fight the battles we can win, and that's Remoaners. We're almost there. Get the general election out. Get the majority for the Conservatives Brexit Party. Let's get them in Parliament. Let's get them working for us. And then, and only then, we can leave the EU on our terms. And the EU can't do nothing about it. So as a Brexiteer, to all you Brexiteers out there, at last we're almost there. So don't fight each other. Let's fight the right people. And I'll see you on my next video. Ciao.